Greetings, everyone. Today I wanted to talk and continue on the topic of detoxing and fasting. Now, first and foremost, at this time period, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot visually that we're taking in, auditorily, the things that we're eating, and the things that we're experiencing in life all have an effect on our different bodies. So you have your mental body, spiritual body, emotional body, and physical body. Now, if you go through trauma, hurt, abuse, those kinds of things, then you're affecting your emotional body. Now, how do you heal your emotional body and heart? When you're eating different foods that are high in unnatural things, chemicals, sugars, maybe has parasites, now you're affecting your physical body. When you're watching certain things, that can now be affecting either your psychological or your spiritual body. So there's different things that affect us, and we have to then analyze which ones are good for us and which ones are bad for us. And sometimes we get addicted to the things that are bad for us. Now, why are we addicted to these different things? There's a lot of different reasons. They can make us feel good. They can be feeding something within us. And then what is these things within us that they can be feeding? They could be feeding parasites. You could have physical parasites, emotional parasites, people who are parasites. You could have spiritual, etc. So now you have to ask yourself, how are we feeding these parasites, and how do I know that I have parasites? And so the physical parasites are somewhat easier to identify, because you can do tests. You may have physical worms. You may have different symptoms, but those ones are easier to identify, and they're also somewhat easier to treat, because you could just take herbs and things to help cleanse the body. Now, the emotional and mental ones, those types of parasites could be a little bit trickier. So, anytime, like for instance, if I say, like, hey, here's this thing that will clear this medicine out from you, or hey, don't do this behavior for 1 day or 2 days or a week or a few months. Anything that you do not have control over and it has control over you, that's a high probability of it having like a parasitic energy, meaning you should be in control of your body, mind, and self. These parasites can change our behaviors. They can change how we maneuver, how we think, and how we're reacting and responding in life. Learning about different herbs that help to cleanse the body, learning about yourself, learning about the things that are healthy for you, the things that are good for you, and then learning about the things that are bad and the things that don't make you feel good. Meditation, breathing, you could do the physical exercises, working out your body, taking a note of the things that you're doing, things that you're eating and why you're eating them, when you eat them. Are you just eating things because you're stressed? Are you going for unhealthy options? Do you have a particular craving for unhealthy foods, a certain type of meat, sugars, carbs, breads? So those are things that certain parasites like to feed on. If you can't go a certain time period without doing a certain behavior or eating a certain thing, I definitely think that's something to take note of. And then you can maneuver from that place of being empowered. So first off, you gotta, you have now the information and awareness to change the behavior, even if you have recognized that something may have been off. Sometimes you may not even want it. The parasites won't want you to change your behavior, because then you're gonna be getting rid of them. Even if you don't feel like doing the right thing, you should just start to do the right thing in different areas of your life, and that will lead to improvements. And then you're creating a better environment for yourself, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually. You're creating an environment that is not conducive for the growth of these parasites. So if you are eating good and you're taking care of your body, there's certain things that cannot reside in that space. So the same way as if you take care of your emotional body, if you take care of your mental body, if you take care of your spiritual body, there's certain people and things that cannot reside in that space. Sometimes you can be in a place of happiness and joy, and your happiness and joy can bother other people who aren't in that space. Some people want you to stay upset, low vibrational, and be in that energy because that's comfortable to them, because they are in that emotional state dealing with their possible parasites as well too. When I say detox, I'm not just talking about detoxing in the sense of food. I'm speaking about detoxing sometimes of people, behaviors, actions, the things that you're watching, the things that you're listening to, because you could detox from anything that you're intaking. During that time period of fasting, then you're also able to build yourself up to higher points because your body's not taking all that energy to having to digest or having to understand or break something down. So if you're always putting stuff into you, and you're always taking in noise and stimulation, it's very hard to have spirit speak to you, or to have ancestors or intuition or creativity speak to you, because you're just like blasting the sound all the time. Your mind never has a chance to like just create. Your stomach never has a chance to rest because you're eating a meal, a snack, a blood, this or that every single hour of the day. You go to sleep, your body can't properly sleep because it has to digest the food. So those are things like you're just overworking the machinery. And if we start to think of our body as a biological machine, and proceed at it and treat it from that way, then it would allow for us to have a healthier body. Some people treat their cars better than they treat their bodies. You wouldn't put certain things into your gas tank, but you would put things into your body that have no business really being there, but they taste good, and you don't want to practice self-discipline, and that's okay, because I've been at that time period where I wasn't practicing self-discipline and I was letting my habits get the best of me, and it's a journey. So first and foremost, you want to be gentle with yourself, compassionate, understanding that you're a human being, you're not perfect, and there's going to be temptations and addictions that you're going to be fighting through. First, that mindset and wanting to do better, you could be better. That's how you start to implement change into your life. That's the first step of detoxing, because then there's also psychological, the mind, the mental parts of detoxing. Meaning we got to unlearn a lot of the things that we learned. A lot of the things that we learned aren't actual truths. A lot of the things that we experienced have caused us to be the people who we are today, but that may not necessarily mean that's who we are meant to be. So a thing happened in the past and it has affected you, and it's causing you to be a person that's existing based on that trauma or that experience. So what you want to do is analyze yourself, your mind, your body, each one of the different bodies, and then see what it is that you want to grow. So that's moving with a plan and a purpose. You're not just going to like life, moving with a mission and a purpose allows for you to grow with purpose. It allows for you to achieve. So once you know what it is that you want to work on, you're now intoxicating yourself with positive. You're empowering yourself. So as you're detoxing, you are empowering. So, that's something that's really important on the mission as well too, is it's not just about like emptying out the body of all chemicals and things that are bad. You got to also be nourishing and restoring the body with things that are revitalizing to the mind, body, heart, everything. This is a series in how we can better analyze ourselves and work on our different physical, so that way we could have a better functioning mind, heart, and interaction with the world. That way we could achieve more. If your body's healthy and your mind is good, you're going to achieve more. Things aren't going good in your life, then you should reflect on how you're treating the body and mind and etc. And then those two are connected. But anyway, that's just me giving a brief intro into this topic. If you'd like to learn more, like and subscribe. Life Gardening Tools on all platforms. Peace, light, and love. Grow in peace.